Welcome. This is great to have everyone on here, and so many of you on here. Really looking forward to this discussion today, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you're at. I'm excited to facilitate this, and I'm even more excited to learn about all the great things that are going on across NIRSA in this challenging time. So you're all into taking Wellbeing Virtual Roundtable. My name's Josh Downing. I'm the Director of Recreation and Wellness at Butler University in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm coming to you from a suburb just south of Indy today. I promise you that I have a virtual background, not because my office is in my restroom at my home, because I have a small house. It's just, I really like the virtual backgrounds. So and it's always fun to see what everyone brings to those. So I've been at Butler University for 14 years. I've been the director there just under 2 years. I've been a NIRSA member for pushing now almost 20 years, which is hard to believe. And currently I serve on the NIRSA Health and Wellbeing Task Force. So excited to be here today with you. A few housekeeping items before we really get going. Just an overview. This session is being recorded and will be posted to the NIRSA website. There's the link to that, and a lot of you have probably already seen where those are. You all have been muted to start. You can unmute yourself if you'd like to talk or ask a question or whatnot. After you're done, you will be muted again. And I've seen people are already loading this up, but use the chat box for question and comments, and especially drop in your links. So if you have really useful resources, drop those links in, as that will all be captured. And when this is done and put up on the website, along with the recording of this roundtable, the chat box will be available as well. I encourage you all to continue to utilize NIRSA Connect for further conversation and resource sharing. There's a lot of great things out there. And what's great about this is a roundtable type discussion. I'm imagining us being at the national conference in Phoenix. We're all sitting in a big room in a big circle, and we're talking and sharing. So I'm hoping that we can do that today. Just a few things, guidelines for participation. Just no need to say this out loud, just respect. I mean, everyone's dealing with the situation differently across the country. Let's focus our conversation on higher ed professionals and try to focus on how we're taking wellbeing virtual. This is a no judgment space, and the best thing about NIRSA is that we're all here to help each other. That's an exciting thing about having this roundtable today. Oh, we need to go back. So we've all pivoted. We've all made that pivot. If you haven't pivoted, you're here today to learn about how you can pivot. Things are moving at the speed of sound. I feel like every minute I'm hearing about or seeing new resources or new innovative things that people are doing across the country. There's already tons of great resources showing up. It's very inspiring. I'm gonna point to two, and I put it in the chat box at the very top. NIRSA has a virtual wellbeing resources Google Sheet that Victoria from the University of Texas, San Antonio started. It would be great if we could add to that and build upon that. So check that out. And if you have things to add to that, ask you to do so. There's some great articles out there about this. I dropped one in the link that's co-authored by our own Stacy Cannell and Ken Walters. There was an article that was released late last week that talks about all this, and it was a really good read. So to get us started, we've all pivoted marketing plan, or we're looking to pivot our marketing plan. I thought it'd be great if we could talk about active versus passive engagement. What are things that you're being able to show and demonstrate that how you're actively getting students involved? It'd be really great to hear kind of delivery method. I think everyone is choosing different ways, or you're looking for ways to deliver. I've thrown all those up there in possible ways, and I have to selfishly say that I have a 12-year-old son who is a heavy TikTok user, so I'd be very curious to know if anyone is utilizing TikTok. We have a powerful brand on campus through social media and other avenues. This is a great opportunity to engage campus stakeholders and partners that are doing and delivering wellness or well-being across campus. So this is a great opportunity to do that. So I'd be curious to know what some things people are doing out there. Analytics, as we've moved into this virtual world, and we're all heading towards the end of the semester, and assessments are due and our reports are due. I'm interested to hear how people are tracking analytics across this. What are the creative ideas out there? And I'm sure that this opportunity will create tons of creative ideas that people can share and learn from. And if we have time towards the end, this is a question that's been brought up over the last week or so. What happens after? Now we've shifted to virtual wellbeing offerings. How's this going to affect us afterwards when we get back into our facilities and spaces? So just a question to ponder. I'm going to stop my share, bring everyone in. Oh, this is great. So this is my first time seeing everyone. So awesome to see NIRSA out there. This is great. I'm going to do my best to monitor the chat room and look for things that are really good questions to ponder and ask. If people make comments, I'll do my best. Really want this to be an open and opportunity or roundtable for people to share. That's what's great about NIRSA. And if I was at NIRSA right now, I would be going around and giving everyone hugs. So I'm giving all of you air hugs right now. That's the great thing about the NIRSA connection, is that you all are family. And I love it. Love being at NIRSA. And unfortunately we're missing it, but this is a great opportunity to be together. And these roundtables that NIRSA is putting on it's just a great way to do that. So yeah, to get us started, let's talk about active versus passive engagement. So I'm curious to know, anybody have some really great ways that they're actively engaging their students on their campus now that you've shifted to virtual offerings? Anything from fitness classes to trivia to anything. So you can either drop it in the chat box, or if you want to jump in and talk, feel free to do so. Yeah, we'll go from there.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how are you? Because I think the key is how important is it for your own staff to create content, because there's a lot of free fitness content out there from Les Mills or other platforms that maybe makes it personalized when somebody from your university is leading that, but it may be their first time and they may be uncomfortable with being live streamed and prompted. So I think that the balance is offering other platforms that people can use at any time, and then you can also record yours and they can not do it live. But I think there's some personal connectedness from a group fitness instructor that you've already gone to their class, and the level of engagement may be higher. But it's also, not being afraid to share other platforms that are free, whether they're always free or they're just currently free because of COVID-19. But any level of engagement right now, we're all holed up, and I think we have so many excuses not to be healthy and well. And so trying to make sure we engage with them on national platforms that are free for everybody, as well as our own content that we're creating, knowing that it might be our first time and we may pick up and make some mistakes or fumble our words, and that's okay. And then also the liability prompts and the music royalty stuff. It's just very important to make sure you're protecting yourself and the university from any infringement of copyrights or music licenses.
Right, great point, Kevin. Thank you. Anybody want to add to that? And I think the copyright, and I was a part of a roundtable last week that was talking about waivers. So anybody want to kind of jump in and add to that?
I have a question. This is Leah. I have a question about waivers. Are instructors covered liability-wise if they're teaching from their homes? What is everyone's view about that? And participants as well.
Anybody want to share what they're doing at their? I will share at Butler. We put a disclaimer, and we just went. So if we have to backtrack a little bit, we will. So, anybody else? Darcy, I see you're on. Hi, Darcy.
Hello. Yeah, Leah. So Darcy Burdett from the University of Florida. We are currently not allowed to employ any student employees as instructors at present. And so all of our full-time staff that works within the fitness area will be doing most of the virtual classes. We've been a little bit on hold because of meeting general counsel's recommendations. So right now, with regards to the waivers, there was conversation about waiver click-through, but it looks like what they're going to do versus disclaimer, I should say. But it looks like what we will probably be doing is going through Fusion. So just like individuals would sign up for pre-registered classes, because then we do have a waiver on file for them. And then from the instructor standpoint, as far as protection there, it will pretty much be considered, since it is working remotely, and we will literally be streaming these from our own homes, will be covered underneath workers' comp there if anything were to occur. Did that answer all of your questions? Hopefully. Anyway, that's what we're up to.
Yep. Great. Thanks, Darcy.
Thank you.
Going back to a point Kevin made about copyright infringement. Has anyone run into that? Anyone found ways to be able to utilize those and it's okay to do so? Okay. Other active engagement things that you're doing that you see that are working, that as soon as you launched it, you saw great participation right away?
Hi, this is Gabriella from the University of New Haven. So for us, we've been doing a mixture of Instagram Live and Facebook. No, I'm sorry, not Facebook, and Zoom for classes. For the Instagram Live, we've done a few meditations, which have been really awesome, especially now that everyone is so kind of stressed out. We offer them on our regular group X schedule, but now we're really trying to open it up to anyone who's on our Instagram. So we have about 2 in the morning and then 1 during an evening time. I've also led some Wellness Wednesday live Instagram talks. So for instance, last week, of course, the first one just being about the coronavirus and healthy ways to stay healthy while you're indoors during the coronavirus. So I did a little talk about that and then answered anybody's questions concerning that or anything in general that they had wellness related. And then at the end of it, I'm planning to do either a short meditation or a short yoga session just to get them moving. And then with our virtual classes, we've done it through Zoom. So the Zoom participation has been so-so because our students just got back to their normal class schedules last week. So a lot of the classes are still being held virtually at the same time. So we're kind of doing the schedule week to week to see what times really fit for the students and their needs. But at least the Facebook Live ones have been really great because at least that they can also go back and view it even if they weren't live, which is awesome. And then we're also having our personal trainers do Ask a Trainer on Facebook Live. So if people have any questions about, different equipment that maybe they could use for resistance, maybe it's, laundry detergent or plates as gliders or aspects like that. So definitely for us, the Instagram has been really, really popular. So we're trying to do a lot with that. And then just doing more of the fitness classes through Zoom. And then we also do the disclaimer at the beginning of each class as well. And when you join our facility, you have to sign a waiver for all of our programs. So I believe it does extend probably to the virtual one, but we still do the disclaimer as well.
Great, thank you for sharing. I saw something pop up on the chat box, the quarantine quiz on Twitch. It's on Twitch channel, Rec Without Borders, and Twitch, for those that may not know what Twitch is, it's a gaming platform. So it's a way for gamers to, be in a live stream and showing how you're gaming. Again, having a 12-year-old who games all the time, that's the only way I know about it. But that seemed to take off in a big way across the country. So I'm not sure who the organizer of that is, but it's starting to show up in various. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, Drew DeVore started that. We have a Collegiate Recreation Sports Program administrators copying the Collegiate Fitness Facebook page. It's a very active page of collegiate fitness directors. And I had a suggestion through my intramural connections to create a Collegiate Rec Sports Program Facebook page. And they started a pilot Monday night with just administrators, and they had 278 people log in and do a mock quiz show. Scott Flickinger from Cornell will be leading that, but it is inter-institutional. And there's a huge Google sheet of 80 schools willing to give prizes out, like t-shirt exchange, water bottles, for the prize winners. So they're doing it every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And it's also a good platform. I guess Twitch is really good, not just for esports, for anybody interested in multi-person engagement for an online game. But if you go to the Facebook group, Collegiate Recreation Sports Program Administrators, or reach out to Drew DeVore or Scott Flickinger, obviously they want to promote something that students can engage in across the country. It's not sponsored by NIRSA, but it's a bunch of collegiate recreation people that want to work on something together.
Great, thanks. And curious to know who's offering virtual personal training. And if you are, maybe talk a little bit about how you're doing it.
Hey,
So,
oh,
sorry, go ahead. This is Andrew. Go ahead.
okay. Andrew here from University of Houston. So we're sort of implementing a rudimentary online personal training just for our current clients. It's all just a value added to try to work on retention, but we've created a basic template all of our trainers can use. And we've also built a body weight exercise database of just YouTube videos for like 5 seconds to kind of build a library of it with our trainers featured. And so we just built that within the last couple weeks, but we're basically just sending a workout or a series of workouts to our clients just to try to keep them engaged for retention purposes mostly. We're paying the trainers kind of an admin rate, like their base rate, and then not counting against the sessions for the clients, just to try to keep them retained and active so they're not losing everything that they've gained in their prior sessions.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, and then this is Hannah Stiller with Tulane University, but we're not using a training online platform per se. We reached out to our clients to see if they would be interested in it, and basically from our 60 clients, only 4 people were interested, so we couldn't justify purchasing a software to use. But instead, I developed like a 2-week online training program that people can follow the laid out program themselves. And then because I do employ a good amount of non-student instructors, and most of them work in fitness facilities full time. So Tulane is actually kind of their only hope at the moment to be able to try to bring in some kind of an income as much as possible. So I'm then paying them for their time to record those videos of the content of that online training program, so that we can then send that out to our community and give people an option of, if you're looking to stay active, here's a suggested program that you can use. and then they can follow the videos that the trainers have done in order to know that they're doing things correctly. And then in addition to that, if that's kind of higher on the scale of people want to do as far as engagement, but there's people are still wanting a little bit of a reminder. We've implemented some other video movement breaks that we're sending out via email that people can opt into. So we're calling them our Wave Fit movement breaks. And those are going out twice a week with just short 2 to 3 minute things that people can do in the middle of the workday at noon to take a break, get a little bit of movement, and then come back. And that also directs them to our YouTube channel where we keep all of these videos to help expose them to different things that they can do.
Thanks, Hannah. Hope you're doing all right. So on the chat box, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just
Lindsay.
add on. Hi, Lindsay Bricky, UNC Chapel Hill. I was just adding on to the trainer thing. We also have decided to move virtually. We got some feedback from our current clients. Part of what we're trying to do is limit the amount of refunds we're providing, because we are still deciding to pay all of our student employees throughout this closure, even our trainers, whether they're training their clients or not. So one of the things is to provide the option for clients to still be able to get training virtually. We have bought into the Trainerize app. We decided to trial it. It was $45 for 1 month. So we're going to give it a shot. We figured we'll see how it goes. The trainers and clients have the option to use that, or they can do their sessions via Zoom or FaceTime or anything else. We're offering 2 for 1 right now since we don't have a pricing structure in place. So for the current sessions that they have, they can get 2 virtual sessions for 1 of their normal sessions that were already purchased. So we're just launching that this week with hopes that it goes well and we can expand it. But that's just the only thing different that we're doing here.
Great. Thanks, Lindsay. Hope you're doing all right. In the chat box, I saw something pop up that Alyssa mentioned a well-being challenge partnering with counseling. If you're okay, would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, not a problem. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, so we currently do a well-being challenge throughout the year. And we partner with our food services nutrition manager, who's also a nutrition dietitian in residence. And they had reached out. It's actually the counselor within residence. They noticed they still have a lot of residents still living in housing that they weren't sure how to help promote health promoting behaviors. So essentially we launched a well-being challenge, and it has everything from, show us your favorite movement break while at home, and really trying to avoid some of the language around like social distancing, just because everyone's situation right now is quite different, and not everyone has the privilege to head home or be with family. So we've really tried to select some of the tasks around, trying new things. And then, yeah, again, really just looking at sort of all the different health promoting behaviors around nutrition, social connection. We follow the Thrive 5, so helping others, connecting with others, nutrition, physical activity, and sleep, and just sort of, partnered around made activities around there. And then we also added a few activities and questions that were like, where are you currently getting your news, your reliable news sources from? So things around that nature. And yeah, we found people are really excited. I think a lot of students are just excited to do something. So yeah, lots of positive feedback there.
Great. Thank you. So one popped up on here that really caught my eye. Drew, tell us about the Terminator inspired "We'll Be Back."
Hi, this is Drew from Plymouth State. I think that's been the big thing that we've been kind of working on, just looking at campus rec and how, our students really are looked at as leaders on campus. And well, this is clearly a bummer for everybody. I think we've done a good job kind of helping rally our students up and around. And, it was interesting how they were so down. And then once we kind of brought a big virtual staff meeting through Zoom together, they got to see their friends and they got to do all that stuff, and it just really reinvigorated what they had going on. And so, that was the big part that we were kind of talking about, is how can we continue to be the leaders with that? And so having that mindset of we'll be back. And so we're working on this big video project where some of our intramural staff will be, kind of with balls, with golf clubs, with something that signifies the sport that they're in. Some of our fitness staff might have their yoga mats or something that's still showing, hey, we've got this stuff going on. We're similar to that. We're thinking of you guys, and we're excited to be back with some of this stuff. So some of our students have started taking a little bit, more intense than others with costumes and things like that's going on. But it's been great, and it's been something that's been really well received, and a good thing to keep the staff bonding and keeping that together.
Great, thanks, Drew. Kind of similar, and I thought this was really awesome, of our bass fishing club here at Butler. They're having a virtual bass fishing tournament, and you take a picture of the bass you caught, and the largest bass wins an award. I thought that is really, really incredible, an easy thing to do. And this time of year is great to get outside and go fishing. So just a thought to how to engage club sports. Jenna Peterson, you mentioned, I think this is great, and if you can expand on this, is continuing with the around finals week and de-stress days. And I'm sure every university has a little bit different way of doing that, or how they label it. But Jenna, can you talk a little bit about that? Jenna, are you still on? Okay. If your university has a virtual website that has all your offerings, could you drop that into the chat box? I think that would be really helpful for all, and especially me, because I've been looking at all of those the last few days. So it'd be great if you could drop those in. I saw someone drop one in for Stanford. So here they come in. So this is great. Great question. Rachel Decker, do you want to ask that question you just put in the chat box?
Sure. Hey, everyone. This is Rachel Decker from the University of Toledo. I was just curious if anyone has brought up or mentioned the opportunity to kind of share instructors, or if you would be comfortable with other institutions sharing your live feeds on our Facebook pages or our social media pages, or even if I know some people have YouTube accounts where they're posting their virtual group fitness classes. We don't have the ability to employ our student employees anymore, actually, probably for the remainder of this fiscal year. And I'm not certified in Zumba or yoga, but we have a request from our students for those types of formats. And so between myself and our graduate assistant, we can't offer a large variety of formats. So I'm just curious if anyone is willing to share, or if that has been a topic of discussion yet.
I can go. Lindsay, again, UNC Chapel Hill. I know we are launching all of our live classes this week and next week that are going to be open for anyone that is interested. So the links will be open that anyone can join. I don't know if anyone knows anything more about this, but we're joining that NIRSA challenge where all the schools that join share all the resources. Does anyone know anything more about that? Our marketing team is the one working on that, but that's supposed to launch April 6th, I believe. That would be all the universities sharing resources that would include classes. Josh, I don't know, do you know anything more about that?
No, this is the first I've heard of it. Isn't anyone?
Let me try and find some more info.
Okay.
Yes, Steve here from Ohio University. We've been talking with Tony Gregory from Ohio University Campus Rec. We were able to we're going to be having a link where it pulls in from like 40 different colleges where you can access live content, and it's going to have like almost like an Excel spreadsheet, and you just dump your classes into that sheet, and then it like propagates, and then it's going to have, I'm pretty sure you can access it anywhere, anytime. And then you do an activity challenge where you basically log your active minutes, and it's like a challenge to see which college can get the most active minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Hey, this is Leah. I think that it's similar to what the Pac challenge, we did a Pac-12 challenge, so you described it really well. I don't know if anybody, I think there's a few people from NIRSA on the call, but we'll see if we can get a link in the chat box for you on that as well too. Thanks. It's through activation, so I believe you would go in through Emily Hughes for that.
Thank you, Leah. Let's talk a little bit about passive engagement of ways or resources that you're utilizing to get information out, whether it's self-care tips, mental health, home workouts, inspirational messages, whatever it is. If anyone wants to jump in and talk a little bit about what you're doing at your university.
Hey everyone, this is Jenny Lehigh at Georgia State University in Atlanta. I just want to share one thing that our outdoor coordinator kind of worked on, and we're calling it Rec Inside. And we're just trying to come up with funny posts and ideas on how we're utilizing space in a more unique way. Like, I have a cat, so I'm going to be squatting my cat. Haley's a climber, so she did like a caving scene underneath her bed, climbed around the kitchen, that type of stuff. So we're trying to keep it lighthearted and fun, and definitely have gotten some good feedback, and also just really enjoyed doing it ourselves. So I wanted to share that one idea.
Great, thanks, Jenny.
This is Leah again from Oregon State. We actually had all our coordinators take the time to reach out to all of our student employees, just with a little wellness check-in as the term. We're on quarter, so we just started again here on the 30th, but it was really good to hear. And they also gave us some great feedback on what they're looking for or what they might need too. So if you haven't done that, it's a great thing to do to stay connected.
Great idea, thank you. Any others? I see people posting newsletters and various other ways that they're engaging. And again, if that's on your virtual website, great. Or if there's a way that you can share that to the chat box, that would be really helpful as well. You know, it's just really good for all of us to be able to look at what others are doing. And the beauty of NIRSA, right? We like to borrow from each other. We're not stealing, we're borrowing from each other. So yeah. Any other things, initiatives, passive that you're doing centered around self-care? Just being able to overall take care of yourself while you're stuck at home.
So I can share another one. Once again, Darcy Burdett, University of Florida. And one of the things that we are doing is called the Daily Dose on Instagram. So we could say it's passive, we could say it's a little bit more active engagement, but basically it's daily activity. So Motivation Monday, let's see, it was kind of like Tasty Tuesday, but different components that people can choose to participate in or not. So just kind of explaining, okay, how you as a person might find motivation in the situation that we have at present. On Tuesday, we had our dietitian talk about snacking, because obviously there's probably a lot more snacking going on in households now, and maybe some mindless eating. So she talked about that. And then depending on how we do the story, it might be like a yes or no, one of those polling questions on Instagram, or dropping additional information. You know, one of the simple ones that our sports programs team did was, what's your favorite sports movie? And I wish I would have just saved all the screenshots from that, because it's like, oh, I need to watch that again. But something that's relatively passive, yet trying to get people, at least with some predictability, to look back to our channels to see what is going on, and then they can choose engagement from there.
Great, thanks. Pam from NIRSA just posted in the chat box something similar to the challenge that was mentioned, and there's email contact. So if anyone's interested, just take a look at that. And there's been a couple parent comments in here, which is great. One was, does it count I'm sitting at a skate park to keep my 12-year-old engaged? Absolutely. It's great that you're able to do that. And another one was about failing at homeschooling. No one's failing at homeschooling. If you have kids, you know exactly what this is like. So Godspeed to our teachers, right? We quickly realize how great they are. So, but no, this is really good stuff. So I'm curious if anyone, and this is more of a personal curiosity, if anyone is using TikTok to engage. If you are, just chime in. If not, then we'll
This
move
is
on.
Rachel from University of Toledo again, and we have just started with TikTok. In fact, it's resulted in a lot of 8 to 10:30 p.m. TikTok holes I get stuck in. But yeah, we have started with our TikTok accounts. We are partnering with Counseling Center to do some tips on TikTok. I don't know if you've all seen like some of the TikTok videos where people like point to the sky and words show up. We're doing that. We did a push-up challenge, the push-up challenge on TikTok. We are also working on doing some of our fitness workouts on TikTok accounts. And then one of our graduate assistants is working right now on coming up with our own dance on TikTok that we can hopefully start sharing. But it's completely new to all of us. So we're just now embarking on that. So if anyone else is using TikTok, I'd love to hear what you all are doing from a rep perspective.
Anyone else? I've seen a couple comments about it. Anyone else who's jumped into the TikTok game? Let's see, a lot of people are saying they use it personally. I'm personally on there, but only to monitor my son. I'm not posting any types of TikToks on there. People definitely don't want me posting any dances on there. All right, good. Any other, has anyone found one of the delivery methods to be, you've tried a few of them, you're like, hey, you know what, I think someone mentioned earlier Zoom, it's been a little challenging, or Instagram Live has been the best thing that we've used. Anybody going across platforms? I'm just kind of curious to hear kind of what people have found to be most effective for engaging.
Yeah, Kyra Dickey here from the University of Central Florida. Something that we decided to do is to connect with university marketing and communication. We know that UCF has a much larger base on social media than we do, and upholding well-being is one of our university's values. So they're excited about doing a workout Wednesday, and we'll have 3 to 4 of our instructors leading innovative workouts for the entire UCF community. We think that not only will we get more eyes, but hopefully more engagement. And that way we can start to build on our newest platform called RWC Plus. Essentially, on RWC Plus, we have various ways to keep active from anywhere. So not only fitness resources, but of course, intramural resources and outdoor adventure resources, sport club resources, and even wellness and health promotion resources. I did send the link in the chat, so feel free to check that out. But we're really, really excited about the partnership with marketing. So I encourage you, if you have a relationship with your own university's marketing, leverage that during this time, because promoting well-being and movement is probably something that they want to do, and they probably want to partner with you as well.
Great, thanks, Kyra. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just clearing my throat. But yeah, at Stanford, I'm Bernardo. I am communications for recreation, and I have a lot of ties across campus with other colleagues with in similar roles. So I've been reaching out to all of them to promote our virtual recreation and wellness page, which has gone over really well, especially since we're offering everything for free. And we're using Acuity to sign up for easy sign up so that they don't have to go through our registration system, Mind, Body, and Fusion. Or we don't have to create anything there. We just create Zoom. So yeah, and we're using Zoom for our online classes, which we do daily at noon. We've gotten like hundreds of people participating in that. That's really awesome on a daily basis. And then again, not wanting to use Fusion or any of our, like, you have to sign up or make an account. Acuity allows you to just sign up for the actual class time, as opposed to creating an account without creating an account, if that makes sense. So it's really easy, and then it helps us keep track of everyone who's participating in our virtual recreation and wellness programs. I think my colleague Jennifer already shared the link with you guys as well. I was on another Zoom call at 9 o'clock, but yeah, Jennifer already shared the links. And yeah, feel free to steal, borrow, share, whatever. All good.
Thank you.
This is Katie Gordon at the University of Colorado Springs, and we are using Microsoft Teams right now for most of our remote communications as a university. But I just wanted to put a plug in there because we have a couple of programs that have, clients like personal health information, and Teams has been really great because we've actually been able to stay in compliance with HIPAA and be able to continue to offer health coaching and personal training through Teams. So with that platform, it has like a chat option, the video that you can do, and then there's also file storage. So everything that you do with the client, like handouts that they might do, reflection pieces, goal setting, all of that can be kept on their team with their coach, which is really nice for the client. And then in terms of keeping, notes of sessions and stuff like that, you might have to keep it somewhere else. But Teams has been really great for us. It's actually the platform that our health and mental health staff are using as well for telehealth. So if anyone is looking for a platform that is HIPAA compliant, that might be a good place to go.
Great, thank you. Kind of a good segue is engaging campus partners. I'm kind of curious to hear what folks are doing. And here at Butler, we have a university-wide well-being initiative that we call BB Well. And this is a perfect opportunity to engage them, to see what they're doing so we can help shine a light and promote the great work that they're doing. So we've done some stuff with career services, concerned faith vocation, counseling, health services, some other offices within student affairs. So I'm kind of curious, because other areas are going virtual too, of how you can partner with them and utilize the strengths that they have to put out across your channels. And like I mentioned, we have a powerful brand at our university. So this is a great way to get that message out. So just kind of curious to hear what others might be doing with engagement with campus partners.
Hi, this is Gabriella again from New Haven. So with us, we have a virtual task force actually on Teams that we started with different colleagues around the campus. So if it's Dean of Students, Res Life, we have someone from our Diversity and Inclusion Center, someone from our Accessibility Center, Counseling Center, So all of the different programming areas that we have, we come together and just talk about, okay, what is everyone doing virtually and how could we also collaborate and help each other out? So we made a calendar of what everyone is doing. So then we can cross promote that as well. So they'll tag us on our Instagrams, we'll tag them. And then if it's more passive things like trivia or little games like that, then we try to work it out together. So it's not just all coming from one program area or the other program area. And so we're not also oversaturating our students with a lot of programming too. So it keeps us all in check of what we're doing. So we pretty much put a virtual task force together with all the different partners on campus to help with that.
Great, thank you.
Hey Josh, it's Kevin from Tulane University again. I think one of the things we talked about from our student affairs managers meeting on virtual yesterday, we talked about is, just making sure we utilize our social media influencers. We have 158 RAs that are willing to stay on, and although there's only 200 students on campus, they're just chomping at the bit to help out with students that they connected with in their communities. So we want to utilize them as people that can repost any of our virtual programs. So thinking about that, SGA, people that are connected, if you have any campus employees, and just making sure we utilize those platforms. As I posted earlier, that our word of mouth is our highest engagement for people that participate. They do it because of word of mouth, not flyers or social media posts. So I think because we lose out on that, we have to be very active on, as they said, as the individuals have talked, just retweeting through other departments so we can share social justice and inclusion resources or content, and vice versa, that hopefully for campus recreation, for health and well-being, that they are willing to share our virtual programs to heighten well-being at the time when it's easy to be lazy or our well-being is plummeting right now.
Great. Thanks again, Kevin. And also to mention of Sean T. How lucky are you?
Has there been any issues where you're told maybe not to post due to the fact that you're collaborating with other departments, just because you may be offering the same thing and you don't want to provide the same information to the students?
Anybody want to jump in on that?
I'll jump in. I've had some other faculty and staff kind of express the same fear, I guess, that, are we duplicating efforts if students or even faculty and staff are receiving this information from multiple places? But ultimately, this is a personal philosophy, not anything that anyone else has implemented. But I feel like particularly now, we're so inundated with a lot of different things that if they're receiving this information in multiple different ways, it can kind of help to reinforce that, number one, the university is supporting those options, as well as, sometimes you can receive it from one person, but you don't necessarily read that email as closely as you might read it from someone else. So it may kind of continue to reinforce that they're going to see it multiple times, and they may not click on it the first time, but maybe the third time they saw it, they think, well, I've heard this now from 3 people. Maybe it's time to check it out. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times more information can't always be bad.
I'll share a little bit about what we're doing here at Butler, and something that folks can ponder if you haven't started this, is that we formed as part of our campus-wide well-being initiative, a stakeholders group of over 30 offices and departments that we bring together on a regular basis throughout the year. And we come together on a shared vision, shared mission, shared issues, have a strategic plan centered around it, so that we can help alleviate those types of things. So then we can support each other, talk about what's going on. And if someone is doing something similar, like, hey, okay, we'll back off of that and we'll support you in that initiative type of thing. And it's been incredibly helpful. to the point where, you know, we're starting to dive into where these stakeholders are going to be doing learning outcomes and assessment centered around all this, which then that data will be incredible to have to show the type of engagement that we have across campus and to see how well-being is having an impact on students and translating into their success in the classroom. So just a thought, and I'm happy to talk offline to anyone about that. I know this roundtable is not for that discussion right now, but just wanted to share. Okay, analytics. So we only got a few minutes left here. I'm curious to know how people are using analytics, how people are tracking numbers. Because as we head into those year-end assessment reports, and we've shifted to where a lot of us, a big chunk of the spring semester is going to be virtual. So we'll have to demonstrate this. So I'm kind of curious to how people are doing this, and it'll be really good for others to hear.
Steve from Ohio University here. Going back to that activity challenge. So really the student center and the faculty and staff center are completely different departments. This has brought up an opportunity to kind of break down some barriers, and we've been collaborating together. We're not reinventing any wheels, but we're sharing all the same information, doing surveys. We're gonna have a survey link that is available that will track, are you a student? Are you a faculty and staff member? Are you part of our membership or the student body? And then that will show who's engaging with these fitness classes. And it might also give us, we might expand the survey to get some other data, but right now we just want to see people engaging with our site. So Qualtrics is a nice resource, and we might expand upon that as well.
Great. Any other? I dropped in a YouTube video on how to track Instagram insights. So if you're using Instagram, whether live or just posts, thanks to Natalie, our Assistant Director for Fitness and Marketing, she put that YouTube video together, and I posted it for you to see.
As part of our virtual recreation and wellness, you know, as I mentioned, Acuity keeps track of who signs up on a daily basis for our online, but we're also using Strava. We've created a Strava group just for recreation and wellness. And that, if anyone's familiar with Strava, that's a great way to keep track of who's participating, how many activities they're doing, how long they're doing them for. So that's an easy one. And then we also have had a surprising response. We just, for those that were like not social media inclined, or we just had a simple Google form, and we've had over 300 people participate on the Google form alone as well. So we've had a good response there. So those are the ways that we'll, at the end of this, those are the 3 metrics we'll be using. Beside, outside of the traditional social media analytics that we can get easily from Facebook and Instagram. So.
Great. Anyone else want to add to that? Okay. Anybody want to share?
Is anybody continuing to do, like we're doing, the Row and Grow, which is part of Iowa Grow, as far as year-end assessments with their student employees, especially graduating seniors, and just looking at those career readiness skills and NACE competencies? That are people continuing to do that? I know we don't employ our students anymore for pay, but we still want to engage with them on how we're preparing them for post-graduation, as well as year-end kind of evaluations or one-on-ones. Now we're doing it virtually. But is anybody doing anything in regards to assessing our learning outcomes for our student employees as well as graduating seniors, like pre and post?
I would like to chime in.
Go for it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Rivera. I'm the fitness coordinator for Weber State University. So this semester, we've been working with our career services department with rolling out the NACE Career Ready Guide for students to complete within student affairs. And so this week, we are conducting evaluation meetings where we go over their career ready guide, but also we have them complete a Google form where their eval results highlight what competencies they have used this semester within their respective roles, what has been the competencies that they've used most, what competencies do they still need improvement on. And we use that data to host a conversation, but also do like a miniature mock interview with them to help them practice sharing those narratives with the competencies that they've used. I know I shared in a past roundtable that the Director of Career Services, his ultimate vision with the NACE Career Guide is to be implemented in all academic classrooms. So that way faculty can also carry those conversations with students in their office hours as well.
Great, thank you. Okay, I have dropped in my email and my phone. So if anyone wants to connect offline meaning off this roundtable, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to talk with you. I'm always curious to learn about what others are doing, and just love my NIRSA family and seeing all the great things that we're all doing, and it's inspirational on a daily basis. Like I mentioned, this is being recorded, so this will be dropped into that NIRSA website along with the chat box. And I can't thank you all enough for the chat box. This is really, really incredible to see all the great things that are going on, and just the level of engagement by everyone dropping in what they're doing at their universities. Yeah, just good stuff, and keep going. We'll get through this. We'll get through it all together, however long it'll take. I want to leave you with this, and it's a quote from our NIRSA president, and she probably doesn't know that I know this quote, but I heard it on another roundtable, and this is perfect for all the work that we're doing. Remember to focus on strengthening your immune system through healthy habits like adequate sleep, physical activity, nutritious food choices, practicing good mental health habits to combat stress responses. We know stress weakens the immune system, and we know physical activity, connecting with a friend, and practicing gratitude all contribute to reducing stress. So all really good for us to remember this. This is a stressful time for everyone. It's really important that we practice what we preach, we take care of ourselves, so we can help our students during this time. So I will stop there. I can't thank you all enough for being on this today. I heard we might potentially do something similar in the future. So if that happens, I will see you there. If not, I will likely see you on another roundtable at some point. So everyone have a great day, and we'll see you soon.